Is it possible for a mother to shoot her children? If you thought that a mother would never harm her own children, this video will surprise you. Diana Downs killed her 3 children because of her obsession with her childhood sweetheart. But why would she do this? Are you curious about this story? Watch the video and find out. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video of our channel. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and put the notification bell on to never miss any updates about our future videos. That said, let's start with the video. Nobody wants to think about a mother inflicting harm on her child. Parents are required to unconditionally defend, care for, and love their children. From the moment you deliver a bundle of joy into the world, you care for them. Parents are often anxious that something awful may happen to their precious child. That's why reading horror stories of a mother murdering her child always surprises me. Nature expects a mother to be empathetic, and not loving her child goes against nature in so many ways. It makes no sense from a biological, evolutionary, or psychological standpoint. So the big question is, what kind of sick mom could do such crimes against her children? Well, Diane Downs' horrific story is told here. Diane Downs, an Oregon mother, pulled her car over to the side of the road in 1983 and shot her 3 small children in the back seat. She then claimed she had been the victim of a carjacking. Diane Downs had the appearance of leading a happy life for a good number of years. In addition to being married to her high school sweetheart, she was the mother of 3 children named Christy Ann, Cheryl Lynn, and Stephen Daniel. She held a part-time position at a thrift shop in the area. However, by the early 1980s, that picture of perfection was completely ruined. In 1980, after Stephen Downs became persuaded that little Danny was not his son, he filed for divorce from his wife and divorced her. Downs made an effort to become a surrogate, but her application was denied after psychological testing uncovered evidence of psychosis in her case. She looked for short-term relief in a new companion, but he finally broke up with her because of the children she had. Therefore, Downs concluded that the only way for them to be together was for him to kill them. On May 19th, 1983, near Springfield, Oregon, Diane Downs pulled over to the shoulder of a rural road, where she then proceeded to shoot them multiple times with a pistol having a caliber of .22. She then shot herself in the arm, went to the hospital, and said that a bushy-haired stranger had abused her family during the terrifying carjacking that had just occurred. In the beginning, detectives suspected Downs because Cheryl, age 7, had passed away. Danny, age 3, had been paralyzed from the waist down, and Christy, age 8, had suffered a stroke that impaired her speech. That is until Christy regained consciousness and disclosed the identity of the person who had shot her. Elizabeth Diane Downs, whose birth name was Fredrickson and who was raised in Phoenix, Arizona, seems to have had a normal childhood. She was born on August 7, 1955, in private. However, her father, Wesley Linden, had been abusing her ever since she was 12 years old. Even though he and her mother, Willa Dean, pretended to be upstanding conservatives, this was the case even though the Lindens pretended to be righteous. When Downs was a freshman at Moon Valley High School in 1960s, she had the appearance of an older lady and dated much older boys. While the 2 of them roamed the streets of Phoenix in search of excitement, one of them was Stephen Downs, and the 2 of them quickly became inseparable. After graduating together, Diane Downs enrolled in Pacific Coast Baptist Bible College in Orange, California, and Stephen enlisted in the United States Navy. Despite this, Downs would be kicked out of school after a year for engaging in promiscuous behavior. After getting back together in Arizona, the couple tied the knot on November 13, 1973. However, very immediately, they noticed a change in the quality of their intimate relationship. Concerns about money and rumors of extramarital affairs were frequent sources of tension in the marriage. In the years 1974, 1976, and 1979, respectively, Christy, Cheryl Lynn, and Stephen Daniel, also known as Danny, were born into this environment. By the time Danny was born, the discussion over adultery had reached such a fever pitch that Steve was certain that Danny was not his genuine baby at all, but rather the product of an affair on the part of one of his partners. In 1980, the couple divorced after they were unable to work out their differences. The divorcee, in her 25th year, put a lot of effort into being a surrogate, but she was unable to pass both of the psychological exams. Diane Downs' treatment of her children, who she had 4, deteriorated with time. She would regularly leave them in the care of her parents or her ex-husband, appearing careless about the situation and showing a greater interest in the admiration of other men. Her children were frequently seen looking disheveled and hungry when they were in her presence. Downs would frequently entrust the care of her youngest child, Christy, who was just 6 years old at the time, to her older brother and sister. Nevertheless, in 1981, she met Robert Nick Knickerbocker and started an affair with him, which helped her forget about her worries. Since Knickerbocker was already married, the presence of Diane Downs' children represented an excessive number of entanglements for him. He ended the romance by breaking the news to Downs that he didn't want to be a daddy. In 2 years, she would attempt to take the lives of her children in the hope of winning back his affection. Diane Downs began working as a postal worker in April 1983, which prompted a transfer to Springfield, Oregon. On the 19th of May 1983, she drove her children along Old Mohawk Road, which is located just outside of the town. She then pulled over to the side of the road and shot each of them with a pistol with a .22 caliber bullet. After accidentally shooting herself in the left forearm, Diane Downs took a leisurely drive to the nearest hospital. A motorist told the police that the speed couldn't have been any more than 5 miles per hour. When the beeper went off, Dr. Steve Wilhite's wrist, he had just walked in the door. When he returned for the emergency, he recalled having the impression that Christy had passed away. He prevented her from dying while at the same time informing Downs of the questionable outcomes. Not even a single tear was what he remarked. All she did was inquire, "How is she doing?" she said. There was no discernible reaction of the emotional kind. She will say things to me such as, "Boy, this has really spoiled my trip," or "That completely ruined my new automobile. I got blood on the back of it." After only 30 minutes of chatting with her, I was convinced that she was responsible for the crime. A search warrant uncovered the fact that Downs had lied about not owning a firearm in the first place. The police also found her diary, which included several references to Knickerbocker and his concerns about the connection. The fact that witnesses spotted her driving slowly after the incident reinforced their already strong suspicions that she was involved. She was taken into custody on February 28, 1984. When Christy was finally able to speak again, the facts became abundantly clear. The girl's response when she was asked who had shot her was simply, "My mum." Diane Downs had attempted to take the lives of her children and had driven very slowly to the hospital in the hopes that their wounds would cause them to pass away. In 1984, Diane Downs was found guilty of murder and given a sentence of life in prison. It has not been established where Steve currently resides or what his connections are. Since the terrible event that occurred, Steve Downs has not been a part of anything that involves his family. Even after 1983, he achieved nothing noteworthy that deserved to be covered by the media. After learning that Danny wasn't his biological child, he decided to end his marriage to his wife, even though he had little comprehension of the situation. As a direct consequence of this, he no longer communicates with his offspring. It is not apparent whether this is a result of past traumatic experiences or an attempt to get out of his responsibilities. This video has come to an end. So what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section.